नमस्कार दोस्तों, मैं अमिताभ, your friendly psychologist, and you are watching A Word with a Word, a dialogue with a word on the various issues that we are committed to you and bring issues which are important, issues which are close to our heart, issues that are significant for our life. And we try to bring a resource from different parts of the country and beyond. And friends, in this commitment, in this platform of ours, Dialogue, A Word with a Word, we are bringing people who are professionals from various walks of life. And on this platform, we believe that an issue to whomsoever it matters is the right professional and the right person to be on this platform. And that is why you must be experiencing that we bring in and we are giving a lot of importance to our episodes where we bring student captains, the young leaders, leaders of today and leaders of tomorrow. And they have a point of view. They believe that if it concerns them, you better consult them. They want to raise their voice. They want to be counted, and they have an independent thinking mind. And I'm sure that is what all parents want the young generation to be. That is what all the teachers want the young generation to be. And in this light, friends, we have chosen to have a dialogue, a word with a word, today on a theme which is very close to everybody's life, and that is relationship. And today we are going to talk about, we have seen in life's journey that there are a lot of people, because every moment, every stage of life, we are connected to people. We get into relationships. Even right now, when I am talking to you, I am in a kind of relationship with you. Maybe it is an online interaction that we have. When these experts and the panelists are going to be there with me on the screen talking to you, there is going to be a connect and a relationship with us. Our relationships are having various dimensions, context, interpretations, and manifestations. And today we are going to explore relationship in the schools and the stress that at times get connected to the same. And that is why we are going to have a dialogue with the word क्या हर फ्रेंड जरूरी होता है, relationship in school and stress. And to discuss this and to help me in this dialogue in a word with a word, we have four young captains of, the chosen by their own fellow mates and the teachers who are representing, who are part of the student council from different parts of the world's largest democracy, that is India. So without any further delay, allow me to invite my resource for the day today, the captains of today and tomorrow, the school captains, and allow me to invite Ahana Tibriwal, connecting straight from our cultural capital, that is Kolkata. She is from Sushila Birla Girls School, Calcutta, one of the top schools in Kolkata, West Bengal, and in India as well. I have connected to me from the NCR, from Gurugram, Rishi Doble from DAV Public School Sector 49, and Rishi is going to give us an insight from a different corner of the world's largest democracy. The NCR region is one of the very important region because our capital also falls in the same region. So let us. We are eagerly waiting to hear each of the resource that is there with us. We have once again from the cultural capital, Kolkata, Pranav Chaudhary from Lakshmipat Singhania Academy, Kolkata, connecting straight from Kolkata. And Pranav is the deputy head boy of his school. Anna is the school captain. Rishi Doble is the deputy head boy of his school. And we are connected also from the another part of the country, and that is the school captain from Nawabon ka Sheher, Lucknow, the capital of Uttar Pradesh, and that is Viraj Chandra, Springdale College, Lucknow, and he is the head boy of his school. Friends, we have these chosen captains, the young leaders of today and tomorrow. I would first go for a round of introduction. We would like to hear about their schools, their context, and about themselves, and then we will take the platform. So I would request each one of you to kindly introduce yourself and your school so that our audience and viewers get to know about you and your school a little bit more. And I would like to request Anna. Anna, may I please request you to introduce yourself and your school?
Good evening, sir, my fellow panelists, and all the viewers. I'm Ahana Tibrewal, head girl of Sushila Birla Girls School, Kolkata. I'm really honored to be here today, and I think today's topic is a very interesting one, and it applies to all of us in every sense. I really look forward to discussing it with all of you, especially how our relationships in school are being affected by the current situation.
All right. So Ahana wants to discuss and talk about the current context that we have. She is, truly a school captain who is worried about the social distancing, how is affecting our society and our connections and relations with people. Welcome to the show, Ahana. Rishi, may I please request you to introduce yourself and your school?
Yeah, thank you, sir. And good evening to all the viewers. Thank you for investing your time in watching this show. And thank you, sir, for allowing me to talk about this subject, which is holds a great part of our lives. It's a very good holds a good chunk. And I think I would love to talk about it much more. And I also look for the optimism in all the relationships that all the school holds in the school
That's
life.
fantastic, Rishi. It's good to hear that you find that this is a very important topic at this stage, like Anna mentioned. Friends, it is so very true that, you know, these are very formative years of our life when we are in school. And every moment that we spend there is significant for the remaining life that we are going to lead. So we are going to have a lot of discussion and a lot of food for thought for viewers from each one of you. Viraj, I'll be coming to you, but can I ask Pranav first? Because I'll go to the Nawabon ka Sheher towards the end, because Lucknow is also where I hail from, though I'm connecting from a different part of the country at the moment. Pranav, may I please request you to introduce yourself and your school?
Good evening, Amitabh. So, fellow panelists and all viewers out there. My name is Pranav Chaudhary, and I'm a 12th standard student from Lakshmipad Singhania Academy, Kolkata. I am a commerce student and aspire to be a lawyer in my future. I take keen interest in debating, immuning, playing the synthesizer, and designing, for all of which I am lucky to have received many opportunities from my school, and I am thankful for that. I am also an avid reader. Some of my favorite authors being Jeffrey Archer and John Grisham. I look forward to engaging in productive discussion over the course of the next 1 hour, and thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you so much, Pranav, for introducing yourself and sharing your interest areas with us. And your favorite author is Jeffrey Archer, not a penny more, not a penny less. That is going to be the dictate. These young captains believe that they do not hesitate in calling spade a spade because they believe in not a penny less and not a penny more. They want exactly what they deserve. And that is why we are here to talk about relationships in school. Viraj, from Nawabon ka Sheher, Lucknow, the capital city of Uttar Pradesh, it has two very major distinctions. One is being the capital of Uttar Pradesh, one of the largest states of India, that is the largest democracy of the world, and of course, Nawabon ka Sheher. So may I please request you to introduce yourself and your school?
Good evening, sir, my fellow panelists. My name is Viraj Chandra, and I'm the school captain of Springdale College, one of the finest institutions Lucknow has to offer, while pursuing computer science with CS. Before I say any further, I would like to wish you all, including our viewership, a good health in the current situation. I'm in utter gratitude to be able to share this dialogue with you all. And I'm a man of logic, for I believe that numbers tell you what you see, along with the belief that balance is necessary to be maintained with your realistic world and your relationships. I do hope for an intriguing session, and I hope to input my best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Viraj, and I'm really, impressed by the poise in your voice. I think each one of you have a character and a mind of your own, and we are looking forward to have a word with the word, a dialogue on relationships in school and stress. So, viewers, let's get ready for the takeoff of this journey, and we are going to understand relationships at a school level. So, let me put up a thought so that we build our discussion around that. And I would like each one of you to tell me what is your take on friendship and relationship during school years, and the buzz line that we have, and that is क्या हर फ्रेंड जरूरी होता है, क्योंकि दोस्त ऐसे भी हैं जो दर्द दे जाते हैं, दोस्त ऐसे भी हैं जो जब हमें दर्द होता है तो हमें संभालते भी हैं, or and life doesn't remain same, people do not remain same. So during these formative years of schooling, how significant is relationship, and what is the your take on that relationships at school? And Anna, I would like to begin with you.
So, first off, I'd like to say relationships are an important part of life. A friend is someone who's always there for you, who supports you and pushes you to do better and be a better version of yourself. And those sort of relationships are really important to hold on to. But that being said, not every relationship is good and not every friend has the best intentions at heart. So, this is something I think we'd like to build on during this discussion. But not all friends are real friends.
All right. So, when we say friendship during the school time, Anna feels that it is a very important and essential part of our life, but we also need to be discreet, because everyone you meet, you generally use the word that for almost everyone you know as a friend. But then there is a difference in the intensities in our relationship, and not everyone is same. The personalities differ, and intentions also may differ. कुछ दोस्ती होती है जो मतलब की होती है, कुछ दोस्ती होती है जो हमारे मतलब को अपनी प्रायोरिटी बनाते हैं. So we are going to talk about what kinds of relationship and every aspect of it. Anna very well pointed out that there are different characters, hence our relationship also depends on the same. Viraj, your take on the same.
So I would like to point out that although friend is a very optimistic word, we turn towards the negative side of what a friend is when we talk about humans. Because you can have a friendship with a book, you can have a friendship with a landscape, you can have a friendship with a particular subject if you wish, you can have a friendship with any prospect of your life. But when we turn towards humans, I feel that yes, you need to characterize some of your friends. They might be necessary for your school life. You need a brutally honest confidant. You need a polar opposite of yourself to judge yourself. You obviously need one school Paul to roam around in this grounds. So I feel that yes, to some extent, your relationships matter, your school ones also matter, but I believe that a balance should be found out, and that should be maintained in your realistic world, in what you actually have to pursue further, and in your relationships that you are into in your school life.
So beautifully said. Friends, you heard Viraj. He says that friendship can be from various elements which are around us. We can have friendship with our book. We can have friendship with with a pet that you have. And but when we turn towards humans, there is an interface which puts up certain areas which are gray. I mean, there are many shades of gray in our relationship, and that is what we would like to explore. That when we talk about friendship, what is the gray and how many shades of friendships are there? That's what we are going to explore. Pranav, you heard Ahana and Viraj. What is your take on the same?
Before I go ahead and give my opinion on friendships and relationships in schooling life, I'd like to bring up something that Ahana said and which Amitabh sir again then capitalized upon, which was not all friends are real friends and कुछ दोस्ती होती है जो मतलब की दोस्ती होती है. in my opinion, जो दोस्ती मतलब की दोस्ती होती है वो दोस्ती नहीं होती. And those friendships which are not real friendships,
All right.
they are not friendships in the first place. Building upon that, in my opinion, school life of a student goes far, far beyond, say, academics and co-curriculars. And one of the most important aspects of school life is the relationships we form with our fellow peers, teachers, juniors, and even subjects for that matter. But in my opinion, it is not fair to attribute this characteristic to a friendship, that a good friend always falls within the bracket of an ideal friend, because I might have a friend who I treasure a lot, who will not be, say, a good listener, or who will not be an ideal person when it comes to many things. Which is why an ideal friend and a good friend, a friend you treasure, are two very, very distinct entities in my opinion.
All right. That's a very interesting and intriguing point by Pranav, that ideal friend and a good friend, these are two different entities altogether, and we should not do any mistake in understanding that difference between the two. And when we talk about friends and जो मतलब की दोस्ती है, अगर दोस्ती में मतलब है तो उसको दोस्ती का नाम देना कहाँ तक वाजिब है is another question that Pranav raises here for all of us to have a discussion on. Rishi, you heard all three of them. Your take on relationship, क्या हर friend जरूरी होता है?
सर आई फील कि हर एक फ्रेंड जरूरी होता है लाइफ में. As a, let us take an example of a dish. In a restaurant, a chef prepares a dish and he puts all the ingredients that are present. Maybe it may be some spices, maybe it may sugar, pepper, and all of these are of varied tastes, right? And friends are also something of like that kind. Some may be, कुछ दोस्ती खट्टी मीठी होती है, कुछ दोस्ती अच्छी होती है, sweet होते हैं. So similar, we can relate this metaphor with our lives
All
as
right.
well. So I think, yeah,
That's
all of them are necessary in a
so
life. They
beautifully
teach you
said.
some value lessons.
Rishi, I really love the analogy that you gave कि एक डिश में सारे इंग्रेडिएंट्स होते हैं और जो डिशेस होती हैं कभी खट्टी तो कभी मीठी और so and we have every friendship is important, every relationship is important. It's just that we may have different experiences with different relations that we have, different people we meet, and दोस्त और रिलेशनशिप और कुछ करे ना करे हमारी एक मदद जरूर करते हैं, चाहे वो खट्टे अनुभव हो चाहे वो मीठे अनुभव हो. Whether the experiences are positive, whether the experiences are not so positive, one thing they always do, they oblige, they give us a lesson for life. वो जिंदगी में हमको सिखाते जरूर बहुत कुछ है. और जब हम सीखने की बात करते हैं, we as students in the school life, we have a purpose, and the purpose is to learn the curriculum that we have chosen. Some of you are with a background of science, some of you are with a background of commerce. Whatever subjects you have studied, that is one learning that we have. And another learning is acquiring enough experiences in life so that when we go into, while we have people who still can handhold, while people are still worried, when I get worried and they say that, bhai, main hu na, I am there to help you out. So gain as many experiences which are sweet and sour, so that when I go into the world in an independent mode, right, as a fully functional individual, where I'm able to deal with all sorts of the experience. Because without taking name, we all are mature people, and I do not want to bring any specific issue into picture here. Sometimes when we grow up, the challenges in life grow. And when the challenges in life grow, some of us are resilient enough to deal with them. And some of us are not resilient enough, and we succumb and give in to the experience of that moment. And friends, that is where I feel school is a learning ground for gaining experience when it comes to dealing with various kinds of relationships as well. वो मतलब का रिश्ता हो या बेमतलब का रिश्ता हो, but then रिश्ता तो रिश्ता है, और कुछ तो देकर जाएगा, कुछ तो सिखा के जाएगा. अगर वो मजा नहीं देगा तो सबक देगा, but देगा जरूर. If it does not give us joy, it surely will give us a lesson which is going to be very enriching for us. And that is what our panelists take so far on their understanding of relationship, and each one of them unanimously agree that relationships are important, but there are different kinds and there is a context to it. So let us try and understand. And here I would like to open it for each one of you rather than going to anyone. Whosoever wants to take it first can take it. And Mike, I would like to understand. आप लोग स्कूलों में रहते, you are living your life in school. Whether it is your school, your relationship, your friendship, or you are seeing a lot of your friends, your batchmates into different kinds of relationships that you have been into, and even those who are not in your school, you have friends from other schools. So what actually happens school? I mean, what is the psyche of behind relationships in school? कुछ अनुभव share कीजिए, to tell what you think about what happens, what is the relationship dynamics in school. Anna.
So in school, there's a lot of different relationships. There's the relationships we have with our friends, with our teachers. But I think the main thing that we need to analyze here is the term friend. We use the term, like you said, we use the term friend for everyone. But somebody I just met once or have only talked to once shouldn't classify as a friend, because we confuse acquaintances with friends. And I mean, everybody's a friend. And in
Right.
school, the main downside to relationships in school would be peer pressure, because and like all the stress that comes from peer pressure, the need to do something you- to be popular, the need to that sort of thing.
All right. So when we talk about, Anna says that whosoever we meet, we generally tend to refer as friends, and that's where we need to once again, look into and analyze it further. Pranav, what do you say? What Anna said that there are different kind of people, and we should not be generic about. So, what kind of friendships are there in school?
Before going ahead on that topic, I would like to address something that you pointed out, that जैसी भी relationship हो कुछ सिखा के जाती है, and this is something that I wholeheartedly agree with, because not all relationships might turn out to stay in for a long time, or not all relationships might not be toxic, but एक चीज सब में common होती है, that they will teach us something in the end. And इसमें another thing that you mentioned is that at any point of time in our life we succumb to maybe stress or some situations in our life that are too difficult for us to handle, and it is at this point that friendship comes to help us. And I'll give you a very simple example. So my school gave me an opportunity to spend 7 months in Japan last year as an exchange student. And my exchange life in Japan was, while it was very enjoyable, it was difficult at times because there were many new people and there were many new faces. But not at one point did I feel कि India के मेरे दोस्त, my friends in India were not there by my side, be it through video calls, be it through chatting. So I think the one key aspect of any friendship, if it is a friendship indeed, is that they do not leave you in times of need, and they, while they are there for all the fun times, they are also there for times when you need someone to be by you.
All right. So when you were in Japan, the distance did not deter or affect your relationship, and friends were there, and they waited and they stayed connected in whatever way they could stay connected to you. And so beautifully pointed out. And thank you for sharing that experience, because when it is friendship, friendship is not limited to us being together. That's what Pranav is pointing out, that even if we are not physically together, that does not mean staying away and at a distance will in any way affect our friendship or relationship. Because when we talk about friendship, which is deeper, which has a deeper meaning, which has a greater intensity, it has emotions connected to it, and distance do not affect your emotions for each other, and you always look forward to being helping each other in whatever way. Staying together is not a necessity for being a friendship, but then coming together is important to know someone, to get to know, and once you get to know, you can choose whether you have whether you would like to give a different intensity to your relationship. Thank you for sharing that. Uh, Rishi, you heard both Anna and Pranav. What is your take on the same?
Sir, I feel that friendships in this stage during the school years are actually really necessary. They are a part of you. They form who you are. They form your personality, basically. And as a process, as a part of process, you always get to experience all kind of things, right? You get sour experiences, you get sweet experiences, and there are moments which you cannot forget at all, right? But then there are some times that actually distinguish between who is a friend and who is not a friend, है ना? And they
Right,
will always, they will always keep you away from bad habits. They will always keep you away from bad tendencies, negative tendencies that actually, are floating around in teenage years.
right,
Absolutely.
right.
So I say that keeping friendships is really important. Being introvert is not an answer, and actually helping someone out is, is something, a deed that you can always do.
All right. So Rishi says that relationships and friendship in school times are very important because they help you being a better human being, better individual. Because a good friendship, a good relationship, always there as a light of a life that they always let you see what's there in the darkness, if at all you face a situation of that kind. But at the same time, he also says that with time, we also start gaining experience as we mature step by step in the classes. If you allow me to draw an analogy and expand on what Rishi said, uh, जब हम लोग when we were in small classes, class 1 or so, even then we studied Suraj, sun, and we what is it that we studied? Suraj nikla chanda chidiya boli. We learned it as a poetry, but then we studied Suraj, right? We grew up little more and we learned that Suraj gol hota hai. It's circular in shape. We grew more, we realized by Suraj khali goli nahi hota hai. It is a gaseous structure, and then we get to know by there is a lot more science to it. थोड़ा उसको भी पढ़ लेते हैं. So as we grow and we keep on getting to know about subject and topics. Similarly, I think, and that's what Rishi was pointing out, as we keep on maturing and keep on spending time with each other, we also mature in our relationship. We start to understand a lot of context and emotions at a different scale and in a different way, and that gives a different level of maturity as well. Very well pointed out, Rishi, and Viraj, you've been hearing all of us give our point on this. What's your take on this?
Thank you, sir. Just as Hannah stated, that we do have a lot of relationships. Like in an average sized secondary school, there are 1,200 students, there is 150 staff, and there would be a million relationships going around. And how all these relationships manifest further determines the culture of that school, and that further determines the culture of what you build inside yourself. So agreeing to all my panelists, it is very true that the relationships you establish right now determine how as a person you evolve in your further life, and it matures you in each level. It prepares you for all the battles of your further life. So according to me, the relationships in all, they have a very good background. They together manifest inside you, and they together prepare you like a warrior to be ready for the next battle, so that you can win it, then you can move forward. So I further point this thing out that I was on a bandwagon which usually believed that if I have a friend that can be treated as my family, but I did not believe that if I have a family member, he could be my friend. So the greatest positive impact of this pandemic was I realized that even a family member is my friend, and even that friend
That's so
is a family
beautifully
member.
said, Viraj. Viraj says that friendship and relationship, there can be millions of relationship during the school time. It is not just with our peers. There are so many relationships that we form during the school time, be it with teachers, be it with our school management, be it with that bhaiya that we have on the door, or that lab assistant who helps us with our practical files at times. We form so many different relationships in the school. Even that bhaiya in bus has a lot of impact on my memory and emotions, the way he has dealt with while I was traveling and commuting to the school. So there are so many of it. And Viraj says that relationships and experiences that we gain through them, they prepare us like a warrior for the life ahead. And as when we get trained for a battle or for a war, we are trained to have good moments and the bad moments. And there are moments which we are going through, but then more such experiences we have in life, stronger we become to prepare and face the life ahead. And that is the take that our panelists have today. And while what Ahana said in the beginning, Viraj has emphasized further that he has realized that we always used to think that friends can be family, but family cannot be friends. But during this pandemic, Viraj says that my experience has given me a new realization that family can also be friends. And this is an important area that we would like to talk about and take our dialogue further. But before we take it further in this direction, I would like to invite all our viewers and audience. Friends, you have heard the maturity and the conviction and the independent thinking of the panel that you are hearing right now. And the panelists today are having a word with a word, a dialogue on relationship in schools and stress. And they have a point of view. And friends, feel free to ask any point that is coming in your mind regarding relationship. This panel is ready to respond to you if you have any inquiry that you want to understand and you want to make. And we will welcome questions. And I may not be able to take all the questions if there are too many of them, but then we will surely try to incorporate as many that we can. So with this, I would request all our viewers, feel free, do not hesitate. Please ask questions if you have any. Friends, on this, I would like to also like to acknowledge our sponsors for this episode, that is HLS India, an institution promoting training, counseling, and consultancy, and are available online mode for counseling of any kind, be it career, be it aptitude testing, or personal or psychological counseling for anyone. HLS India contact details are there for you to note down on your screen. Coming back to having a word with a word. Friends, लॉकडाउन, हम लोग रिलेशनशिप की बात करते हैं और इस समय ये लॉकडाउन, दिस होल लॉकडाउन इज कम अप विद मैसेज ऑफ सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग. एंड एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट डिबेट चल रही है, डिस्कशन चल रहा है इन द सोसाइटी, एंड पेरेंट्स आर आल्सो वेरी कंसर्न, and they are saying that because of the lockdown, because of the online classes, maybe syllabus is getting completed, but what about those experiences that the students were getting in the inside the school? And you would sit with your peer, you would talk about it. If you have some tension at home, you would even talk to best of your friends and say, bhai yaar bahut tension ho gaya hai, and the other person would say, bhai yaar don't worry, mere sath bhi aise hi hota hai. And then you can deal with it and you can go on, and that gives us a lot of experience. In this pandemic, in this lockdown, we have got this being this is something which is in a lockdown. Your learning is not in a lockdown, your syllabus is not in a lockdown. But is this really a lockdown? Is this causing more stress for all of us because we are not able to connect to each other? And I would like Rishi to initiate. What is your take on the same?
Yeah, I feel it is not really a lockdown for the relationships that are going on in the society, in the between the students, because there's always this option of calling up, and there's this feature known as video calling, and you can always find time to talk to your friends, because that is one of the most most realization time, the self devotion you can provide yourself. That is really important, I suggest, because I don't think so it has really a
All
lockdown for the
right.
relationships.
You feel that
Yeah.
there is not much of a gap there when it comes to you are still socializing with your friends and all.
Yeah, I feel that.
All right, Anna, you raised this issue right at the beginning that about relationships in the school context during this lockdown. Is it happening?
See, the thing is, with the lockdown, we're all having online classes, and a lot of people argue that since we're not sitting next to our friends and constantly talking to them, there's more concentration, less distractions, and we're all having much more intensive classes. But I think I speak for all students when I say that we feel the absence of our friends when we're studying. It's it's different for us mentally when we're just staring at a screen and listening to a teacher who's teaching us, when we don't constantly have our friend maybe annoying us from the side or having running commentary on, oh my god, that's what happens. I don't even know anything about this, and all of that. So it's this is new, like this is new for all of us. And that being said, I agree with Rishi when he says that we need to put in work on our relationships right now, because since we can't talk to our friends during school, during classes, it's really cut down on the time that we get to interact with them. And we need to build up that time again, we need to put in the work, and we need to reach out to our friends, and that's really important.
All
My
right.
school is
So
actually this
yeah,
is
go ahead.
something.
Go ahead.
Yeah, my school hasn't announced this yet, but they've also realized that after the first initial few weeks of classes, they have also realized that we are feeling the absence of being able to talk to our friends. So something really amazing that my school is planning right now is to cut off a little bit of all of our classes every day, and instead give us free time to just talk to our friends. It's under school time, but we still get to talk to our friends, and I think that's really amazing.
That is so amazing to hear, and that's a wonderful initiative being taken by your school and friends. Anna is talking about Sushila Bella Girls School in Kolkata. Beautiful initiative. The social relationship element is being realized at a school level itself, and school is creating a time slot where you can socialize with your friends as well. That's so beautiful to hear that initiative. Viraj, what is your take? Is our relationship, is our social context really affected during the lockdown times?
Thank you, sir. So definitely, the lockdown has affected many of our relationships, but I feel that further this life, maybe my work hours could be a lockdown for my social life. So, not stating that this lockdown is a lockdown, I pronounce it as a coffee filter. A coffee filter for you to filter out the relationships that actually did not matter, because in your future life, anything could act as a lockdown for you in your relationships. So if that relationship is not sustainable and it cannot even manage a bit of a lockdown, so what is relationship? So that filter is actually filtering out what your relationships could actually hold this scenario, what could not. And
Uh,
for,
yeah, go ahead, go
yes, sir.
ahead, go ahead, Viraj.
And so further I feel that if you have a lockdown in your life, that is actually creating a beautiful circle around you that only includes the people you want the most. Like the great Russian novelist Leo Tolstoy had his wife and his one or two friends besides him. Winston Churchill, British Prime Minister, only had his wife, and the Taj Mahal would not have existed if Shah Jahan did not had a wife. So it actually means that the lockdown is creating an enveloping you around with beautiful creatures who will actually matter in your future life. So I take the lockdown as a very positive impact, and I do agree with my fellow panelists. Thank you.
So beautifully said that lockdown is rather providing an opportunity to be in the relationships which are of significance, because what good is that relationship that cannot withhold one a small lockdown? It is just a matter of few months time, and if relationship cannot withstand that, then there is something seriously weak about it. और वो एक फिल्मी गाना है ना, वो अफसाना जो परेशान करे उसे भूलना बेहतर. So if a relationship is so weak that it cannot withhold the test of times, it is better to look the other direction there. And Viraj has quite beautifully pointed out that lockdown has been an opportunity to strengthen relationships rather than to consider that it is causing a problem in relationships. Pranav, I would like you to tell me, हम लोग कहते हैं कि लॉकडाउन, social distancing, I personally feel that it is only physical distancing, and we are more social now. What is your take on that?
So that is actually exactly the point that I was going to bring up, because even though school time has been cut down, essentially the social relationships have only strengthened. The means may be different. Now it is all online. The friendships, the chatting, everything is online. But in my personal opinion, relationships per se have not been affected that much. And working along a similar tangent that Viraj brought up, in this time we can find out कि कौन दोस्त वो थे जो पास में बैठते थे इसीलिए the relationship existed, and कौन दोस्त वो है who are actually our friends. So I think this is a very strong test of the friendship. But keeping that aside, I do not think that friendships in a sense have been troubled much, because I personally I spent the same amount of time with my friends. Earlier it was in a cafe after school. Now it is on a Zoom call after online classes end. So agreed, the medium has changed. Maybe the dynamics to some extent have changed. But the relationships, at least in my case, haven't been affected that much. That is my personal opinion. Again, it might be different for different people and different relationships, because as I would like to point out, to each one, the definition of friendship, who you consider a friend, what dynamics you have with your friend is very different and subjective. And therefore the criterion on which I might consider a person to be my friend, maybe Hana or Rishi most definitely will not agree with me. So I think that you cannot assign a definition to this relationship being a friendship, because it is to each his own.
All right. We इस relationship को क्या नाम दूं मैं? We cannot call every relationship friendship which we generically assign as a noun to a relationship during the school times. Fair enough. Pranav, Anna, Rishi, Viraj, a question is coming to my mind. And floor is open. Anyone can take this question now. And that is we have boys and a lady both being here in this panel. Boys are more sensitive to relationships and emotions during the school years, or girls are more sensitive to emotions and relationships during school years?
Can I go ahead, or
Yes,
does
go ahead,
someone else
Pranav.
wants to? So again, personally, I think that attributing who is more, sensitive to the size of a relationship to one gender would be a generalization at best. Because again, I have friends, I have male friends who are very sensitive when it comes to relationships, and we can even attach a romantic connotation to this, or general friendships. And I also have friends who are, very rigid, and they do not come out with their emotions usually. So again, I think this is more of a person to person thing, like the previous question, and we cannot attribute it. Like, there is a generalization that exists, that I have seen, that is key. Like, girls are more sensitive to relationships, and they are more towards the romantic aspect of it, which I would definitely like to disagree with, because while I might not speak for myself or all the people that I am representing here, it is very, very subjective, and it depends from person to person, and therefore attributing
Absolutely.
it to a gender will be unfair.
Point well taken. Viraj, your take on it.
So
Anna, you wanted to say
definitely
something to
agree.
what Pranav said?
Yes, see,
Let's take that first.
I'm from an all girls school, so I can't speak for the boys, but I can say that there's no such thing as one gender being more susceptible or more sensitive to this, because I myself have seen around me that there are girls who are really sensitive to emotions and relationships at this age, but there are an equal number of girls who aren't, who are more closed off and who don't express it more freely. So there's really no difference here.
Absolutely, and seeing that so many badges there on your collar, Anna, I'm sure you have mastered the art of winning hearts in relationship for sure. That is why you all are in the, and that goes for each one of you, because you are the captains, and definitely you have won a lot of people's confidence. That doesn't happen without strong relationship that you have around. Viraj and Rishi, any one of you would like to give your
So
perspective on this?
So definitely agreeing with Pranav. I think this question could have a separate webinar for such, and it could go on for hours and hours, maybe a debate or maybe a discussion. But putting around every opinion, and every opinion is a good opinion, and listening to Ahana, my balance slightly falls towards the girls. I feel that girls are more sensitive during the school life due to basic logic that girls have a higher EQ as compared to boys. They might have the same IQ, but they have an emotional quotient that actually is more than that of boys at our level. So my weight scale fall towards girls, and rest is up to my fellow panelists to discuss.
All right, that is very. I'm so glad that there's something where the my panel is having a slightly variant opinion and diverse opinion on relationship. And Anna, you quite rightly pointed out that you come from all girls' school, hence that perspective also. And Viraj comes from a co-educational school, so our experiences in different environments have a context to it as well, and probably that's what he has perceived. Rishi, any take on this aspect?
Yes, sir. I would say that my scale falls slightly towards the boys, towards the males, because even though it is a myth that is being said that the girls are the emotional creatures, but no, it depends on person to person how he or she takes, how the person evaluates himself, how he deals with the emotional situations that are around him, and having spent a lot of time with my male mates, they have actually said, I actually feel that they are much more emotional, whether it may be a small fight in the house, maybe a brother sister rivalry or something like that is going on. So they would be like, bhai chal mere ko bahut bura lag raha hai, I don't feel nice, either do something or something like that. So I feel more than girls, the boys are the most expressive ones.
Right. So the scores are balanced now, and that is where we get a gender balance. We've got two comments which are neutral, and there are two comments which one goes in favor of girls being more emotional, and the another one goes in favor of boys being more emotional. So, friends, the scores are neutral, and friends, as quite rightly pointed out and referred by each one of you in some way or the other, it is more individual. Emotions are more individual to us. then it is not so much a gender specific element. जब हम आपकी उम्र पे हुआ करते थे तो हम भी ऐसे ही बात करते थे कि भाई यो लोगों को लगता है कि औरतें बहुत इमोशनल होती हैं, गर्ल्स आर मोर इमोशनल, लेकिन होते तो लड़के ही इमोशनल हैं, एंड हम लोग जल्दी बन जाते हैं. आई वोंट यूज द वर्ड व्हाट, and that's what we used to say in a lighter vein. And as I grew up, I also started telling people that the way the society has evolved, there was a gender bias in our society was there, where girls were not allowed at till a particular point of time to go out, and whereas the boys can do everything. That was a kind of a bias. Today's generation is not the same. And yes, during a period of transition, there was a phase where girls were more cautious, more careful, more calculated in whatever they would do than the boys were. And so that is where these variations in the thought process which is coming up that you are sharing. But then the fact is, it is not about being a girl or being a boy. It's about being a human, because emotions are not a gender specific attribute. It is an attribute of every human being. वो हर दिल वो जो धड़कता है उसमें इमोशंस होते हैं, उसमें जेंडर का कोई रोल नहीं होता. And it is always important to respect emotions, value emotions, and it is not always the good emotions that or happy emotions we value and the sad ones we don't. These are part of life because we are humans, and that is where we need to take it forward. अब यहाँ पे एक छोटा सा सवाल आता है. As I said, respecting humans, that is what you call as during the college life, I have we do a lot of counselings, and being a psychologist myself, and we have a lot of stress, anxiety that comes up. And I would not like to go into the causes and the reasons what happens there, but then I would like to use and pick on each one of your logic and rational and independent thinking, that what is it that you would like to recommend कि अगर रिलेशनशिप की वजह से कोई स्ट्रेस होता है तो उसको डील कैसे किया जाए. हाउ डू वी गो अबाउट डीलिंग विद दैट मोमेंट ऑफ एंजाइटी और phase of upset, छोटी छोटी बातों पे, if I recall my growing up years, my close friend is now talking to someone else, and that someone else is not a close friend of mine. Now I would question कि भाई अगर वो मेरा दोस्त नहीं है तो तेरा दोस्त कैसे हो सकता है? How can that person be your friend if that person is not my friend? And if you want to be good friend to me, you cannot have a friendship with the other person. There are a lot of dynamics are there, and we feel upset, stressed, and not so good about ourselves at times during these schooling years. So what would you recommend that one should do? And I would like each one of you take your turns, take your initiative, and suggest that how can one cope up with the stress and anxiety because of the relationship factor during school years.
I think the best way to deal with stress from relationships is to talk it out. Talk it out either with the person that the relationship is with or with someone else, because that always helps. When you talk, you realize it's a way for you to realize what's happening. To saying it out loud makes it clearer. But at the same time, we need to respect everybody's emotions. We need to respect their own personal views. And if somebody, like you said, कि कभी कभार किसी का कोई दूसरा friend होता है, and a sense of jealousy might come in at that point, but we need to learn to keep our emotions in check and respect our friends' own decisions as well.
All right. Thank you for sharing your take on that.
So definitely agreeing what Ahana said. So I feel that yes, if you want to deal with the stress that causes the stress that happens in a relationship, is never to create that misunderstanding and obviously clear that misunderstanding out, and that is to talk. And because if you talk, it's like आप दूसरे की आंखों के थ्रू वो पिक्चर देखते हो जो उसने देखी थी, जिस वजह से आपके बीच में वो दरार आई थी. तो जब आपको ये चीज़ पता चलेगा कि क्या हुआ था एग्जैक्टली, एंड देन यू क्लियर दैट मिसअंडरस्टैंडिंग आउट, आई थिंक द stress goes away. So
All right. So Viraj, while Ahana says respect everyone's emotions, Viraj says that it is also important to, you know, clarify it from the source of disturbance rather than from the third party involved. Aksar hota hai, we all go through this, that somebody said to me that so and so said this about you. And then we start feeling upset. And rather than talking straight away or clarifying it from that person, we are talking to everyone else but that person. So if we really want to counter stress, talk to the person for you around whom it concerns, or who is the source, rather than to a third person, and clarify the misunderstandings if you value that relationship. And there are many other confusions. If you, it doesn't matter, it's okay, let it be. But then if you value a relationship, it's always good to clarify and then respect whatever the other person feels or says as well at the same time.
I have
Sir,
something that I would like. Okay. Go
All
ahead,
right,
Rishi.
let's take Pranav first. It's okay.
Okay, so I would like to present a slightly different picture of the situation wherein if the friendship is strong and if the relationship is strong, people will eventually get to talking it out with each other and things do sort out. The problem arises in the moment when there is a certain sense of awkwardness and you cannot approach that person in that moment. And at that point, say you are giving him or her his space because there might be certain complications, and at that point, it may not be entirely correct to approach that person. Now, in such situations, what I believe is because unse baat karke to problem will get solved after one point of time if the relationship is strong. But at that moment, if you are dealing with stress एक दोस्त के साथ, then you talk to other friends. And when I talk to other friends, I'm not meaning in the sense of bitching about them or talking bad ki why did he do this, but just discuss it with your other friends, because when you have friends, say one of them will be a good listener, and more often than not, we don't even need a person to advise us what to do, or we don't even need a person to tell us that he's wrong or that I'm right. We just need someone to listen to us, because we need a bin wherein we can just throw our thoughts and get it out of our head. And that can be any friend, anyone we trust. That does not even have to be a friend per se. We can talk to a family member, we can talk to anyone. We will get to talking it out with the person who is concerned, definitely, and that is the only way to solve it. But to deal with our emotions in the moment and to get a control over ourselves, I think it is imperative that, like Anna pointed out, we talk to someone and we just get it all out and we get it out in a safe space.
All right. Rishi.
Yeah, sir. I would also like to say, first of all, there should not be any stress in a relationship. But yeah, ups and downs are a part of life, are part of every relationship that you hold. First of all, you should have goals, and you should have a very strong relationship, like an unbreakable one, with your goals, and you should have your complete focus towards them, so that all of these minor stresses don't come in the way. And then, since all of these stresses are of no value to you, they do not hamper you, and then you don't feel upset because you're completely immersed towards your goal, towards your final destination.
Right.
Okay, so that is what I feel. And as of resolving out the matters with your friends or something like that, a personal way can be to just write it down, jot it down, everything on a piece of paper, and then throw it away. Just forget it. Okay,
All right.
whatever you feel, maybe it anger, anxiety, or whatever it may be, jealousy, as Hannah pointed out, you just write it down. Okay, just write it down in your journal, in your diary, whatever it may be, and then just throw it away. And then you clear all your all your thoughts, you clear out your mind, you feel at peace. And then finally, with a calm head, you go and talk to the person and then resolve your issues,
Right.
whatever is troubling you.
Rishi's signal is
In
slightly
resolving
affecting.
my issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really sorry.
Rishi, can you
Am
just
I audible now?
repeat the last few bits that you said?
Yeah, I just said that you should maintain a journal for yourself. You should jot down all the points that bother
Right.
you, and then after organizing your thoughts, go with a calm mind, and maybe take a bath before talking to your friend, and then just clear it out, sort it out. Okay, because all of these disagreements are a part of your life and they cannot be avoided. Okay, so first of all, the main thing should be a very strong relationship with your goals. Okay, what do you want to do with your life? And then comes all the other people who are associated with them.
That's a very, very important point that Rishi said, that look at the big picture. और भी गम है जमाने में कि हम इसी गम को क्यों इतनी importance दें. There are other significant things in life, and we need to have a relationship with our life, and we need to set our priorities very, very correctly, and then value relationships also, other relationships at the same time. And if you have a conflict or differences are part and parcel of life, and it should be taken in the same stride and in the same respect. And if and when you are going to talk things out with a friend to clear the cloud, it is always better to prepare yourself before you do that. Don't go in an agitated frame of mind to sort things out, because if you go in an agitated frame of mind, things will only get aggravated. So calm yourself down, get your focus back, and then you go and to clarify and sort things out. So beautifully said. The young leaders are reflecting the level of maturity. I think the stress is not going to be there in schools if there are youngsters like you all who, stress, anxiety, a bit of differences with the friends. हमें बचपन की यादें अभी भी हैं. आज दोस्ती तो कल कट्टी तो फिर परसों फिर वापस दोस्ती. It keeps on happening. And we keep on revolving, and today when we grow up we realize कि भाई कितना बचपना था, and we laugh at the same things. We say the I hate you or so kind of statement. When we grow up, we meet the same friend after 5 years and we say yaar tu kahan tha. We forget all that, because those moments, these are just momentary phases which are there to give us lessons for bigger times in life. So thank you so much for pointing that out as well, Rishi, that you have shared. I could see now I have got a lot of people getting to put up points and the comments, but then we already have been talking about it almost an hour. But I would like to acknowledge a few points that a lot of people appreciating and acknowledging your point of views. There's a point of view which is being shared by Nova Vanguard, and that is, the day we stop fearing that others will dislike us is the day we are free of stress and anxiety in a relationship. And there's a point of view rather than a query that has been pointed out. There are a lot of people sharing their agreements with each one of you there. It's important. Taru Upal Basin says that it's important to be calm before you resolve any issues with a friend or anyone. The point has been reinforced. There are a lot of people who are pointing these things out. Friends, I would like to take on and go on and discuss this. As a little while earlier, Viraj said that there were a few points in between which would probably call for another episode to discuss just that. But then I would like at this point of time to go each one of you and to have your final word with a word on relationship and stress in schools. And this time I would like to begin with Pranav, then go to Rishi, then to Anna, and then to Viraj.
Yes, so I have only one thought that I would like to leave everyone with, which is, and more so the students that are viewing today, because we discussed at length today the importance of friendships and relationships in school life. But we do find, and this applies to all of us regardless of our school or our city, that students who have a difficult time in making friends, and students who may stay secluded and silent, students who think that they do not fit in, these students are there. And when we come here and discuss the importance of friendships, what would actually make a difference would be us, the viewers, and us actually being there for these people who think that they do not fit in. Because I think when we discuss friendship, the best thing that you can do by being a friend is not by being the cool person and shunning them out or bullying them for that matter. Instead, just lend out the hand of friendship yourself and help them, support them. Because that is, when we talk about friendship, that is the one key aspect and the best thing that you can do, regardless of whether a person is your friend or not. Because with that one small deed of kindness, with that one act of making someone your friend, that friendship may blossom for your lifetime. So just be there for people if they do not have friends, and you will automatically find more friends for yourself.
Just be there and be available. Thank you so much for your message to the world. Rishi.
Yeah, very well said, Pranav. It was a really good thought that we should be there for people who feel that they are secluded, who feel that they do not fit in. And I have myself been there in that position, and I really feel that you need a person, a shoulder to cry, a shoulder to lean on, someone to, back you up, to support you. And it's really good to hear that there are people who actually, they are there to look out for you. And that is what I would also like to say, that be there for your friends, be there for the one who are non-judgmental to you, who do not care that what do you do, what you are. They just care because they are your friend. Okay, so keeping such people in your life is much more beneficial than having hundreds of friends. Two or three trustworthy non-judgmental friends are much more better, they hold more value. Okay, so it is always quality over quantity, I would say.
So Rishi says it is always quality over quantity. जिससे भी मिलो अच्छे से मिलो, मुस्कुरा के मिलो, लेकिन दोस्त कुछ हों जो आपको समझते हों और आपके लिए they are non-judgmental about whatever you are doing, and so beautifully said. And Rishi, I would really endorse that we all go through that phase. What you said, that you have been on that chair. I would say during growing up years, I was in the same chair. I was today I come across to people as an extrovert, but during growing up years, in the school times, my school friend will not even imagine that I'm in this profession. And they are now connecting back. And at times you need someone to reach out to you, and just be that while you are waiting for others to reach out to you, there's someone else who's waiting for you to reach out to them as well. Just be there and be non-judgment. Thank you for sharing that profound message. Anna.
So, what I would like to say is, like we all said, all relationships are important. They all teach us a lesson. But the most important thing for us to do, like Viraj and Rishi said, is to filter them out. We need to filter out the relationships that are good for us and hold on to them, fight for them. But on the other hand, we need to weed out the ones that aren't good for us, and we need to learn to let go. We need to learn to be okay with the fact that not everyone is a good friend and not everyone is going to like us.
All right. So we need to filter and hold on to the ones that we value and respect the rest, and be there as acquaintance and friends, so called. And but then relationship strengthening to filtering. Be discreet is the message from Anna. Viraj.
So, as my last thought and the conclusion to this webinar, I would like to state a few lines, beautiful lines penned down by Shimangal Singh Sumanji, that actually depict on how relationships and your life should actually proceed. So they go like this: that कुछ कह लिया, कुछ सुन लिया, कुछ बोझ अपना सा बट गया, अच्छा हुआ तुम मिल गए, कुछ रास्ता ही कट गया, क्या राह में परिचय कहूँ, राही हमारा नाम है, चलना हमारा काम है, साथ में चलते रहे, कुछ बीच से ही फिर गए, गति ना जीवन की रुकी, जो गिर गए सो गिर गए, रहे हर दम उसी की सफलता अभिराम है, चलना हमारा काम है, चलना हमारा काम है.
चलना हमारा काम है. Chalna hamara kaam hai. Beautiful. And I would like you to send this poem to me for sure. We are going to post it on our page as well, so that people can read this. What a profound message through this poem, Viraj. The poetry says that, you know, we have a journey, and it's thank you so much for meeting me in some phase of my journey. you made it a little more beautiful to take the journey forward in life. And that is where you know we need to chalna hamara kaam hai. We need to take things in stride. I understand Rishi wants to add something to this poetry. Hey Rishi, would you like to say some? I got a message that you want to say something. I in my inbox. Yes, Rishi.
Yeah, sir. Sir, I would like to pick up Ahana's point saying that you should put your effort in the relationship. It is a 50-50 partnership and rather not a hierarchy, not a father to son relationship or something like that. It is a 50-50 partnership, like a business one. Okay, only that it is not a business, right? So once you understand all of that, once you understand the emotions, it will really be worth it, worth fighting for, worth standing for the relationship. It will be really worth it once you understand all of this.
All
So
right.
that is what I would like
So
to add.
thank you so much for sharing it. That there is no hierarchy in relationship. I always say I talk in the language of MKF, and that is my name is Amitabh Mohan, and MKF is Mohan Ka Funda. And I always say that either there will be competition or there will be relation. या तो प्रतिस्पर्धा होगी या रिश्ता होगा. Both cannot coexist in a relationship. So we need to wherever the moment competition will creep in a relationship gets sacrificed, and that is what Rishi wanted to emphasize further when he was talking about the element of 50-50 partnership that he was talking about in the context there. And friends, I think it is time. I could see that all of you are also getting eager to speak a lot of points, but then we have to call it a day. And thank you so much, each one of you, for being such independent thinking individual, so balanced in your thought process, and so candid and forthcoming. And the way you made the recommendations that how to deal with the those upsets and the stress is amazing, and hats off to you. And that is what a psychologist is telling you, that you were telling and suggesting the areas that we try to guide people. So all of you are amazingly beautiful people. I would like before I say bye bye to each one of you and put you down in the virtual studio for my closing words with my audience, I would like Taru Upal Bhasin says it is refreshing to hear such mature and clear views from the youth of our country. I repeat and emphasize, these are the words which I was saying, and what Taru Palbasin has reiterated the same, and it is for each one of you. It is refreshing to hear such mature, clear views from youth of our country. Friends, thank you for being what you are. Stay the way you are and stay safe, and make sure you take initiatives during these lockdown to strengthen not just your relationship, but also to reach out people who are wanting that some companionship, even if it is in online mode. So with these words, thank you so much, each one of you. Friends, you were watching and you were listening to Virat Chandra, Springdale College, Lucknow. You were listening to Pranav Chaudhary from Lakshmipat Singhania Academy, Kolkata. You were listening to Rishi Doble from DAV Public School, Gurugram, and you were listening to Ahana Tibrewal, Sushila Birla Girls School, Kolkata, the cultural capital of India. Thank you, each one of you, for being with us in our show in today's episode. Friends, I'm sure you all will agree that these young minds have a mind of their own, and they are so very mature in their relationship that we can trust that they, during their school years, have a maturity to deal with the ups and downs that the life teaches them, and they're ready to take the lessons. So let them be on their own and enjoy developing and understanding the relationships on their own terms. And that is what these panelists of mine were trying to say. And I would like to just close, but there's a line of a song which is coming in my mind, and that is what I would like to say, that एक बहुत पुराना गाना है, हम हैं राही प्यार के, हमसे कुछ ना बोलिए, जो भी प्यार से मिला हम उसी के हो लिए। फ्रेंड्स, जो भी आपसे प्यार से मिले आप जरूर उसके होइए, but then do not forget to use your discretion, because every relationship may not be same. It has a context, and keep your eyes open to understand that context. With this, thank you so much for being with us once again in this episode on A Word with a Word, where we were having dialogue on relationship in schools and stress. फिर मिलेंगे next Saturday 4 p.m. with another theme and another set of our guests.